Concept in this video will help you break any bad habits. Now, this is episode 8 of Breaking Down Diary of a CEO, and in this one is titled Never Fight a Bad Habit. Now, most people are stuck in life and they're trying to do a lot of things, trying to figure out their life, trying to change their life. But the problem is, our lives are determined by those habits that we do all the time. And the irony is that these habits, at some point, they are very easy to do. But the problem is, if the habits are the wrong habits, it becomes a problem for the future we are trying to create for ourselves. So, for example, is living a life of comfort, taking drugs, partying, drinking. It's easy right now, right? 10, 20 years down the line, it could lead to health problems. Or when you're trying to break them, all of a sudden, you discover that it becomes difficult. Now, Steven Bartlett laid out different ideas about habits and how we can use habits to our advantage, how we can break the bad habits. Because most people try to make the mistake of breaking or stopping a habit. But the honest truth is that if you don't know where the habit comes from, you are most likely wasting your time, right? So let's first of all figure out how habits are formed. The first way habits are formed is called, according to Charles Duhigg, the author of The Power of Habits. You see, habits are formed using this system, right? First of all, you need a trigger, something that makes you feel like you want to get into a particular habit, right? The second thing now is the habit itself, which is the routine, which is the habit. So it's cue, routine, reward. The cue are the triggers, those things that make you think about the habits, right? Keyword there is think about the habits to make you move towards the habits. Then the routine itself is the habit. For example, is maybe you're feeling stressed. Or you're feeling stressed, what do you reach out for? Cigarettes, nicotine. Now the reward is what you get, is the feeling you get after you have engaged yourself in the habits. It's that feeling you get. It's the same thing you see across. And in the very end, everybody wants that very nice feeling. Everybody wants that very nice feeling. Whether it's the person who is working out at the gym, whether it's the person that is smoking nicotine, but we all want that song. We all crave that reward. It's that entire loop. The triggers, the habit itself, and the reward. Now, the problem now is that a lot of people are trying to stop a habit, but there's a way our brains are wired. We are wired more to be action-oriented than inaction. What that means is, it's easier for you to do something than to not do something. Let me break it down to you because it may not make sense, but if I tell you this, do not think of a red elephant. There's a high chance you first of all picture the red elephant and then try to stop it. And this part of this message right now is not part of this, but it's super powerful. The reason it is super powerful is because a lot of people are out there. They are trying to force a lot of things by how I put it. Okay, no, let me take a different approach, right? There are people who are trying to create their future, but the brain knows what it doesn't want more than what it wants. So for example, if I tell you to write out the kind of partner you want to attract into your life, you might be finding it difficult, right? But if I tell you to list out the kind of partner that you don't want to get married to, I can bet you'll be able to write out a full book on it. Because why? Our brains, right, are filled towards negativity. And it's not really a bad thing because a lot of people assume that, oh, my mind is filled with negativity, there must be a problem somewhere. That's not really the case. Our minds are there to protect us more than to help us thrive. So that's the topic for another day. I might make a separate video for it if you want me to. So let me know in the comment section right now. So please feel free to share this video because this video will help a lot of people who are trying to break habits. Now, because we are action oriented, not inaction, what is, we are much more engineered to do something which is either replace the bad habits, right, than for us to not do anything, which is stop the bad habits. So for example, it's easier for us to say, you know what, instead of eating snacks, because I had the bad habit of snacking a lot of sugar, instead of saying, oh, I will not snack, instead try changing the snack. So I changed the snack to something that's much more healthy, although the rate of consumption kind of like increased to kind of get like the nice feeling, but I liked it at the end of the day, right? So I switched from having lots of donuts, sugar donuts, to having veggies and granules, this garden egg and granules. And trust me, bro, it's been amazing. It may not be that sweet, but it's actually very interesting, right, to eat vegetables that taste good, and not super sweet. The next tip here is, now, the worst part, the second mistake people make when they try to change or they try to get rid of a habit is they think, which listen to this part very well because it's the most important part in the habit, which is not the system itself. It is the desire of the habit. It is the desire of the habit. Now, if you're trying to quit porn, right? If you realize you're trying to quit porn, but you are still hanging around social media posts, it's going to be very difficult. Because why? For some strange reasons, I don't know when this culture of soft porn started. Or if not soft porn, this idea that the more skin that women show, the more attractive they are. Because if you go on social media today, even my Instagram, I don't mean to call anybody's feed, but in all of the feeds I get to, right, even in my ex, there's a lady trying to show as much skin as she can show. Now, she has the right to do what she wants to do. Now, it's for me to discipline myself, to either not engage that post, right, and let it slide. Even though I've tried to recreate or maximize my social media feeds, once a while it comes up. And somebody who's trying to, avoid all of this soft porn, these triggers that make him want to go into this porn sites to waste his time, it would be very difficult for him to take himself out of that situation. So because, see that desire, right? When the desire is still there, there is a tendency to engage in the habits. A lot of people think habits start from the kills. Not really. They start a lot from the desire. And a lot of our desires, some of them are innate, right? Again, some of them have been exploited. At the same time, some of them become stronger depending on how we control our attention. So if your attention is not properly controlled, right, then you have a problem. So what happens here is, a lot of people here, they try to suppress the thought. And guess what? When you suppress that thought, when you suppress the desire, it's still there quite alright. It's just suppressed. What most likely happens is they rebound, and they rebound to make it worse. A very good example is after my first 75 hard challenge, right? I had not taken anything processed. The moment I was done with 75 hard, I popped two liters, that is two 1 liter container of yogurt, sweetened yogurt, in one night. The next 3 days was back-to-back processed food, right? And the second time I had my 75 hard, it was easier because I focused on getting rid of the desire, not suppressing it. And how did I do it? My system was simple. I was educating myself on the health benefits of avoiding these things. Before, I was avoiding them because I was on a challenge. My identity at that moment was somebody who is challenged, but it had not yet gotten into my identity to remove these things. It was the same thing with although I'm not addicted, but once in a while I take it. But now if I say alcohol, because I know the damage it does, and I have the identity of somebody who is healthy, fully healthy, although I enjoy these things in bits, somebody who is fully healthy, I rarely touch. I could be at a party, have a very nice time without tasting alcohol, without having anything good. And this is my 4th 75 hard. This time around, I have barely listened to any music. The other day, I tried to listen to music, right? I think I wasn't just motivated to listen to it. And mind you, I did not set the goal. My goal for this 75 hard was to have that balanced dopamine level, balanced headspace. So I rarely scroll. It's like instead of me doing a dopamine detox, I'm doing a dopamine correction, where I literally sit down to enjoy something like this. Enjoy talking to you behind the camera. Or sometimes I enjoy like just reading something. I always have books around me. So that idea, instead of trying to suppress the thoughts, look for a way to channel that desire to something else, right? So if you're somebody who is addicted to porn, right, and you're addicted to baby jacking off, why don't you get like real women? And something more powerful that I think a lot of people don't understand about the red pill spaces. When the red pill tells you to go and have as much fun with as many women, what a lot of people miss is the fact that before you can do that, right, to some extent, you have to develop yourself to some extent. Whether it's learning game, whether it's getting jacked, but to some extent, you're going to have to become something better, a different version of you. In that process, you get the girls. So, You see how you can channel that desire, channel the thought process. So give yourself challenges, and one of the best things for you to do in this area is to give yourself challenges. Now, before I joined this my challenge for making videos every day, I used to make videos a couple of times a week, but I really did not see progress. I really felt like I was burning out. But doing this every day, doing something that I enjoy, where I don't script, I have the ideas in my head, and I just say to the camera, it's just making ideas flow to me, and I'm enjoying the process more. Though it's still a challenge, and the challenge is to go for 100 days, right? Maybe my 75 days, and it's been going absolutely wonderful. Some days I won't find it difficult to even get off this table while I'm looking at content, because I have like a lot of ideas. But like I said, it's better I just let them out than just keep piling them up. The next point I'd like to touch on now is sometimes, right, we don't get to realize that our bad habits, they mostly come when we are stressed. Because when we are stressed, we feel like we need a hit of dopamine. And the easiest source of dopamine hit these days, right, are I would say our current, I'll call it the cost of modernity. So because we are stressed, we go to those items or objects that make us feel good. So what kind of objects am I referring to? It could be nicotine, dopamine. It could be drugs, dopamine. It could be alcohol, porn sites, sometimes even food. Some from food that I think our meals these days are designed to work against us rather than work for us. The things we eat these days are much more designed, right, to cause problems in us more than they are to help us. You see how all these things come together. So the more stressed you are, the higher the chances of you reaching out to something. So I tell people that I'm not here to say you shouldn't get stressed, because everything that grows requires some level of stress. The key word there is some level of stress. Some stress are super not worth it, right? So I'll talk about managing stress later on. That will not lead to burnout. So, and the easiest way to keep your stress in check is to look at your sleep. To be very, very frank, I think this is an area I'm actually falling short of, right? Because I try to have 6 hours. Like, I could be done with my task for the entire day. Instead of me going to bed, I'm probably thinking of what to do. I feel guilty for not working. I start the process by 7 p.m. I'm done by 8. Now I tell myself, let me go for a walk, because I have to go on a walk to break that work task I have started before 8. And before I know it, I'm at the bed by 9:30. I'm back by 9:30ish, having my bath. By 10:30, I'm on the bed. I'm waking up by 3:30, laying on the bed till 4 a.m. till my alarm tells me to get off the bed. So I think in that area, but still, I sleep a lot in the afternoon. I sleep while I walk. So I walk, I sleep, I go on a walk, I lie down. So me and the floor in my office, we are good. That doesn't mean I still don't have stress, but the entire point is I am actually managing my stress better. Now I'm going to the gym. I've had this video. That's a good day to manage my stress. Hey, by the way, this is the first day of my boxing though, so I think you'll see this in the journey later down the line. So the next step now is, another problem people have is, especially when they come into the self-improvement space, they see all these videos like, 5 habits holding you back, these are the 3 habits that are holding you back. Now, they try to eliminate all of these habits at the same time. But instead, they are supposed to start with one habit at a time. One habit at a time will do you more good, right, than try to replace 2. So try to take on one habit at a time. Look for that habit itself that could cause the most damage, and make sure you go after that habit. To some people, it could be corn, or obviously porn. To some people, it could be drugs. But you know that one habit that's causing your most problems. So while you're doing this, please keep your stress in check. And now, the one other thing which is the most important, I think I don't want to miss out, is finding a new reward. Because whether I like it or not, right, the reason your brain is doing this is because it is not aware of a healthier option. Ever since my nutritionist introduced me to snacks that taste as in vegetables, that are combined together that taste very good. It's been different, right? Now, at some point, I used to think smoothies are unhealthy. They are packed. They have a lot of natural. They have a lot of sugar. I heard when banana is broken down, it forms sugar or something, a high amount of sugar. But well, I think I prefer that sugar to the one in soda. So finding a new reward. Introducing instead of me snacking on hyper. I still have donuts, but when I have donuts, to be very very frank, ever since I started living this healthy life and enjoying it, like optimizing my health, one day I think I ate donuts. The next morning I felt very depressed. Depressed. I felt very, very down. I couldn't do anything. Then I remember that, wow, I was feeling good the night before. The only thing I remember me eating was donuts. And I felt very, very trashy in the morning, which kind of made me realize that our meals are messed up. So finding that reward and realizing that I can replace my snacks with, and mind you, a healthy snacks is not cheaper. It is ironically more expensive. So bro, the same way I've discovered that the healthiest options are way more expensive than the cheap options. So one health tip I've given myself is, if it is mass produced, don't trust it. If it has a brand name, look at it very well. If it has chemicals, if it has ingredients that you cannot pronounce, check it out. If it is mass produced, limit it. If it is enjoyed by the masses, enjoyed is a keyword, limit it. So all I'm about to say here in this section is, you need to find that reward that you feel it is going to, that reward that you feel is much equivalent and healthier than what you had before. In the case of you trying to stop porn, what about you going for a girlfriend, right? Although to some extent, some people might go from porn to sex addicts. It happens a lot. A lot of people switch addiction from one thing to another. But the entire point is that, seeing that you have to put in a better effort, right? You have to put in much more quality effort to get that is different. Now, I'm not referring to paying hookups or doing some hookup culture, no. Having somebody who you can get intimate with, having to, because that'll be a healthier challenge for you. Getting a very nice, soft, feminine woman for you instead of watching porn, right? It will be a healthier option for you. You still have the same, but you are wiring your brain, right? Because most of the reward you get comes from the effort, not the action. Do not be deceived. It is more about the effort than the action itself. So let me just go back to my notes and look for any particular phrase I'd like to bring up for you. It says, now, find new rewards, healthier rewards, less addicting rewards rather. Like I said, if you're trying to stop porn, try to aim towards looking for a girlfriend that you really, really want to date. A girlfriend that, to some extent, it makes you improve as a being, right? Because before you can get a girl to accept you, you may have stepped up your game to some extent, except you're one of those naturally looking people. If you are, I'll tell you, it's better up you still look for a challenge, something that's much more difficult, slightly difficult, that'll force you to grow. But nonetheless, make sure that you are still rewarding yourself along the way. Because rewarding yourself is not bad, right? It is the reward you give yourself that is the problem. So if you want to overcome a habit, do not fight against it. Work with your habit loop. Use positive action to replace it. Do not take on more than one habit at once. The more you try to change, it lets you change the habits. While you are creating a new habit, make sure you take care of yourself and get as much sleep as you can. Sleep, live, move, smile, laugh, listen, read, hydrate, fast, build, create. Your habits are your future. So thank you very much. I was honestly just feeling in the mood for this because this is actually a very nice thing for me, and I could go on for a very long time. I really don't know how long I've gone here. I've definitely repeated myself over and over again. This is a book that is worth checking out. It's a book that I'll tell you that it's different from other books. Other books have 2-3 ideas spread across 200 pages. This has about 33 laws, although I think if you look at it, maybe 23 unique ideas, but everything is valuable to the reader. So I would recommend you pick up the book, right? And I like breaking down this book pieces by pieces and going in depth into every idea. So please go out there, get this book by Stephen Bartlett, The Diary of a CEO. If you don't know who he is, check out the Diary of a CEO on the podcast. That guy is really good. He has very nice guests and he will completely change the game for you. So thank you very much. Kindly share my video with somebody who you know will find it helpful. Share my video with somebody who you know is struggling with their habits, right? Well, let's see, maybe we can have a conversation. We can talk together. We can know how we can look for ways to replace this habit. So thank you very much. Kindly share my video, because it's that action alone that will make this message spread. That will make, it's basically a way of just telling me that, okay, fine, what I'm doing is really good. It's helping somebody, for someone to share this video. So thank you very much. Talk to you soon. And bye for now.